This episode of The Rest is Football is powered by our new presenting partners, Fuse Energy. We're thrilled to welcome them to the team, especially outside the regular transfer window.
A new signing providing power and energy. That sounds like a bit of me back in the day, Gaz.
And reliable too, not one of those fair weather players who go missing in December.
Fuse will be powering The Rest is Football right through the season. They're one of the UK's fastest growing energy suppliers, building solar farms and helping homes make smarter choices. Power that performs throughout the season.
Fuse, keep everything running, lights on, meters smart, cars charged, a full squad you can count on.
And when you sign up for their fixed rates, your energy prices hold their shape, even as the nights turn colder and the title race heats up.
The season is long, but with Fuse, the energy never drops. For more information about energy that hits the top corner every time, head to fuseenergy.com/football. And if you fancy getting involved, sign up with the code FOOTBALL for the chance to get a shout out on the pod and throw your own question at us next time.
Voice memos are on, ready to rock.
Yeah. Clap. Well, one of us would have done.
Sorry.
Have you done any telly or anything?
No, I've never done the clap bit.
Hello and welcome to The Rest is Football with Micah Richards, Alan Shearer, and sat alongside me,
Correct.
a certain Michael McIntyre.
Yes!
Here he goes.
The wheel! The wheel!
He didn't want to infringe on copyright. That's not quite. Uncanny, Micah.
Yeah, uncanny. And there is a reason why I'm sat alongside Michael, because I took part in a little
Should we call it a
social experiment.
We will call it
with
a
him
social
this afternoon, which was the most
experiment.
bizarre experience. So we're going to talk first, and Michael's going to join us for the chat on the North London derby. And I mean, we were both, obviously, I was a Spurs player, Mike was a big Spurs fan. Not a great afternoon, but we watched the game in Michael's new clever little format, which he's now going to explain.
Well, yes, it's called In the Box. And
In the Box.
4 Arsenal fans and 4 Spurs fans were trapped in a soundproof sealed box, completely cut off from the outside world. And we were drip-fed information from the game via sort of freeze frames of various things like KSI, Piers Morgan, and then when the players were sort of through on goal. And then it completely messed with our minds. And at the end of the game, we each predict what we thought the score was going to be. And from all the footage that we had seen, and then all in one moment, the score is revealed. And I'm here to tell you that I thought it was 0-0. Gary thought it was 1-0 Spurs.
Honestly, and they kept cutting up crowd shots and showing, and every Arsenal fan looked so miserable. It was very cleverly done.
I assume you do know your team was shit and got beat 4-1 then, yeah?
We have subsequently seen the lowlights, which got played into the box because the Arsenal fans, who were the YouTuber Chris ND, I don't know if you've seen Bo the Beard and his grandmother Grime Gran were also in there,
Brilliant.
and Jordan Stevens. So yeah, they were also, and I have to say, it was amazing how they got very negative about Arsenal because they showed all this footage that made it look like Spurs. And if you can believe after that game that you could portray Spurs of actually having the upper hand.
Ozzy Ardiles said at the end that it was 2-0 to Tottenham. So, I mean, I think that result should stand.
He was so confident, Ozzy. He was like, we've played the... I'm sorry, I can't do that. I don't know if that's acceptable. Sorry. We'll just leave it at Tottenham.
He'll get cancelled.
Oh, my God. That's what's going to get me. An Ozzy Ardiles impression after a 4-1 North London derby loss.
Even the Arsenal fans are the interesting way. They were
was.
so cocky at the start of the game, as you would expect. By the end of the game, they convinced themselves that they hadn't won. They'd either drawn or lost.
And one of them was very down on Eze.
Yeah, he was. Jordan. Who loves Eze.
Because he thought that he's like, Eze's not shown up.
And then it flashes up the score 4-1. They go bonkers. Michael wanders into a corner and holds his head in shame.
Yeah.
And then it comes up, Eze hat-trick. So, right, for the start of this bit, you need to tell Michael and myself what on earth went on in the match.
We have no idea.
I'll go first, Micah.
Yes, why not?
I think your manager got his tactics all wrong. He set up your team to soak up pressure, try and hit on the break at some stage, and try and get a set piece, long throw, which is why you played Danso. And you were awful, really, really poor. You got battered in the first half.
I think we probably enjoyed the game more than most.
To be honest, the only bit of footage that we saw from the first half was a Danso throw.
That was it.
We were feeding off scraps.
We changed it at half time, and then Arsenal scored pretty much soon after to make it 3-0. You got a brilliant goal from Richarlison, albeit you robbed an Arsenal player. It was a great finish, but other than that, your team didn't offer anything really. Would you agree with that, Big Meeks?
Totally agree. Arsenal was superb. You see, Eze got a hat-trick. He must have seen the scorers.
Yeah, no, we saw that flashed up. Eze hat-trick just after Jordan.
And you know what? I took Eze out my team, fantasy football, this week.
What, this week?
So it absolutely ruined my life because on your team it goes yellow or red, so it means chances of playing.
Might be injured.
So I thought I'll play my free hit this week because give everyone fresh who's not travelled from all around the world. And I took Eze out thinking the North London derby was going to be a difficult game. And he goes and gets a hat-trick.
It's this fantasy football subplot, because even when we were watching the highlights, you're like, is there a Saka assist?
I did say it. I went, not only have Spurs been battered, but also Riot conceded. He's like, let one in.
Where did this idea come from then, Michael?
It came from missing a Spurs game when I was on a flight and there was no Wi-Fi. And Spurs were playing, I think we're playing Palace. And I couldn't get Wi-Fi. No one of the plane could get Wi-Fi. I asked them to ask the captain, who said they would see what they could do. So they were like radioing back to find out the score. And then I got the score all in one go. And Spurs were actually bizarrely 4-0 up after like half an hour. And I just thought, I wonder if there's something in that.
In the superstition. So that's why he did it today. And it didn't work.
The other way around.
Yeah, it was working really well. I just thought, to not know what's happening and to get the score all in one go. It was a little bit like I went to the Masters golf and they don't have phones, they don't have screens, and you're just sort of waiting to be updated on the score, and they actually physically change the scoreboard. And I just thought it's an incredible moment to actually just experience that all in one moment. Because now, even if it's 0-0 and you're watching, a player run through on goal, it's like, oh, we might win this 1-0, or we might be 0-0. But now anything could have happened in that moment.
It's a good idea.
It was an extraordinary moment, that reveal, even though unbelievably depressing.
It was fun.
But also the idea of being drip-fed information. I mean, this is a terrible example to give, and I probably shouldn't give it. But if anyone, and I don't include myself in this, has ever watched football online illegally, then sometimes they're like 3-on-1 and it'll start to buffer and you're like, well, we've definitely scored that, and then it comes back on and it's a throw to the other team. You're like, how the hell did we mess that up? Now, I'm not speaking firsthand here.
No, of course. Somebody's told you that.
I was eavesdropping a criminal. I sat next to a criminal on a train and he's been arrested. I made a citizen's arrest, but I remember him saying that, and I thought, well, I wonder if there's something in that. So drip feeding information, really messing with people's minds, and also watching the trauma of actually of not knowing. For a diehard fan who never misses a game, to know it's happening and you don't know what's happening was excruciating for everybody in there. And yeah, I mean, it didn't work out, but to be honest, it was wild, and you can watch it on YouTube tomorrow.
Brilliant.
I was wearing a Spurs shirt too, but I thought I'd take it off for this because you two ripped me apart.
Yeah, we would. Yeah. Surprised you haven't come in a Barcelona shirt as well. You used to play for Barcelona, didn't you?
I never liked to mention.
Oh, right, okay.
I didn't know you played for Barcelona.
Scored a hat-trick in the Clasico,
You did?
Yeah, I did, yes.
Wow.
Michael, can I ask you why you were a Spurs fan? Was it parents?
Yes, no, that's something I ask myself every 10 minutes. It's a question I'm familiar with. I write myself notes that say that. Why am I a Spurs fan? Okay, so the mistake was made in 1987. I was 11 years old. Grandstand was on the television. I don't know if we all remember Grandstand.
I presented it on a couple of occasions.
Oh, right.
On
You
one
took
occasion,
over from
actually, when
Des,
Des
did
Line-
you?
No,
Yeah.
when
Right.
there was when they had a kind of bomb scare at Aintree,
Okay.
and I had to suddenly sit in the chair. So I did
Yeah,
it
you
once.
like the
Hated
feel of
it.
that.
No, it
You
was
like
horrible.
the feel
It
of
was
it. And you
terrifying.
got comfy. So it was 1987, and I remember them saying no one in my family followed football. They just said Spurs look like they'll be good this season. I started following them. We actually had a good season. We finished second. Clive Allen scored 49 goals. We got to the final of the FA Cup, and I thought this is going to be a great life. And look at me now, having to invent formats to find some positives.
Brilliant.
So that's the long and the short of it.
Yeah.
And but we won a trophy. We got the Europa League. No one knows what happened. It was the worst game of football anyone's ever seen. No one even knows how the ball went in the net. But we had
That's
that.
it. Glory days.
Yeah,
The glory days.
Yeah,
They're worth the wait. Worth the wait.
Champions of Europe. We've got that. But today was awful. But having said that, I missed it.
Yeah.
So I'm all right. I won't watch the highlights. This is what happens, of course.
Yeah.
If you lose, you're not interested. If you win, match the day.
Can I ask you another question, please, Michael?
Yes, Micah.
Because you intrigue me. What a fellow you are. When did you start or think that you was going to be a comedian?
Wow, I didn't realise this was the Parkinson. Look who's seizing his chance.
I think it's quite an obvious answer, Michael.
All right,
the
Graham.
moment he started supporting Spurs.
Okay, so if I'm honest, it was 1987. I was watching Grandstand.
Oh, what a guy. Can he come on every week?
Yeah, well, when are you going to come on my shows, Micah? I've tried to get you on all of them. Come on, let's put you under
Big
pressure.
bucks,
The
Michael.
Wheel.
Big bucks, Michael.
You know why I won't come on the wheel? I love the show. I just watched it yesterday. I don't know if it was a repeat.
Yes.
You had to, was it Joey Essex on there?
Oh, Joe.
Oh, Tommy Fury was on.
Oh, was
last
it? No,
night.
but the one I watched anyway, I think Joey Essex was on.
Yes, correct.
I absolutely love it, but the fear of coming bottom. You're on with so many different
Which you
people.
obviously would.
And I'm good at football.
Yeah.
I've got knowledge. But if I come last, it's too embarrassing
Yeah.
for that. Not a chat.
Well, then we'll need to get you on with Joey Essex, and you stand a relatively. Well, listen, this is funny, but me and Alan in lockdown, we did some Zoom quizzes, didn't we, Alan?
We did, yeah.
Well, your family beat my family.
Yeah.
We actually did come last, and there was quite a lot of people on
I
that.
probably got all the correct answers, Micah.
Yeah, Google.
Cheating again. Anyway, Michael, you've got to go.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for the top of this. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed
it. Was a
it.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing it,
All right.
Gary. Yes, you guys can watch it tomorrow, and it was horrific for Spurs, obviously.
Yeah.
But listen, huge fans of all of you. You're amazing. I love listening to this podcast.
Oh, good.
Not that you need my support, so I'm going to withdraw that. Give other people a chance.
No, we don't want to do that.
Okay.
No.
Thanks for joining us. Lovely seeing you. Thank you.
It's an amazing podcast. Well done.
Let's take a break and then we'll come back. There'll just be the three of us. Thank you, Michael.
Bye. Bye, Micah. Bye, Al.
See you later.
Cheers, Michael. Thanks.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Building a business on Squarespace is easy. Design with AI tools, sell products, manage clients, and monetize content all in one place. One awesome example is Dusty Knuckle, a bakery and youth program in London who have used Squarespace brilliantly to grow and stay connected to their community. Head to squarespace.com/football for a free trial and use our offer code FOOTBALL to save 10% off your first website or domain. Welcome back to The Rest is Football with, just Micah Richards, Alan Shearer and myself, Gary Lineker now. And, we were talking about the Tottenham-Arsenal game. We've got to talk about Eze. That's a big day for him, that.
Brilliant.
A big day. You've got a World Cup coming up as well, don't forget. I mean, the irony, of course, that he was nearly a Spurs player, obviously. I mean, Michael was saying it's the most Spursy thing ever. The player we miss out on then goes to score a hat-trick for Arsenal against us. But what a performance from him. I mean, from what I saw of it, which was next to nothing.
You could just tell he was having the day of his life. He was absolutely loving it, getting on the ball, flicks and tricks and finishes. And he was unplayable, really. I mean, you can't. Spurs just got it all wrong. The amount of space that they allowed him and others to go and do their stuff, but he was just fantastic. He looked as if. He just looked as if he belonged there and loved it and everything else, and was lapping up the applause and everything else that he was getting. And yeah, good on him. He was unplayable basically. He was absolutely fantastic, wasn't he?
I think he's very intelligent, wasn't he? Because we know he's got good feet. We know he can play a through ball and all that sort of thing. But it was the spaces he was finding. Do you remember when he was at Palace, Al? And I think we was doing a couple of match of the days where he was in there and he was playing well. But he could have scored 2 and 3 in those games that we was doing at the time. But everything he touched today really was perfect. Even at the end, he's doing flicks and tricks and all that sort of thing. But he feels at home, especially with the likes of Odegaard out. He needed one of those big performances. Everyone knows he's a good player, but that was a statement performance to say, I am now arrived. And I think that was the difference in his performance today.
Yeah, I've liked him for a long time. He's also a very intelligent footballer. You can see that, but he's very articulate off the field of play anyway. They take our phones off us as well before we did the thing with Michael. And but when I switched my phone back on after the game, there were, I don't know, about 50 odd messages from our group chat, and a lot of them were at the end. It was one of the goals offside.
His first one should have been offside. It was very similar. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you think, Micah, but I think that the referees and the VAR have got themselves in such a pickle with this situation that I thought they were petrified to give the correct decision today. It should have been offside today. There's no way that those guys in front of him were not they were directly in the line of sight of the goalkeeper. Therefore, it was clearly offside. Yet, because of what's gone on, I think yesterday with the Forest goal, with what happened with Liverpool at Man City, they are petrified of making the decision, and they just panicked today and they got the wrong decision. I mean, it was a good job. It didn't make that much of a difference, obviously, for the scoreline, but if it had then you could imagine the backfire that would have happened. But it was offside, but it was still a great strike.
You know what, though, guys? For me on this is, we keep saying consistency and all those things, but it rather is or it isn't, you know? If someone's in front of the goalkeeper, the one in against Man City with Van Dijk, that should have stood, shouldn't it? Yeah. But he did someone made an obvious attempt to play the ball. So you would say it is affecting the judgment of the goalkeeper because he's moving. But if you're in an offside position and you're in front of the goalkeeper, why don't they just give it offside? Why don't it be easy for them to just say that's offside? Because then you don't get, should it, was it, I'm not sure about that. They're just making it more difficult for themselves.
I honestly think they've panicked today. I think they've panicked and thought, if we give that offside, the criticism we're going to get again. But really, it would have been the right decision because they've just made such a mess of the last couple of weeks of those decisions. When
I played, if you're offside, you're offside. And that was it. Whether you're interfering, anything like that, I don't know whether that'd be better or worse for the actual game. But at the minute, they're trying to be so specific with not just offside, but handballs and this and that. And the laws of the game when I played and before I played, I mean, they were in a book. The book's like that now. Yeah. And they have tied themselves up in knots, and particularly with VAR, but we've talked about that a million times. It gets boring. Given City losing, Liverpool losing again, it's looking very, very good for Arsenal, isn't it?
I think this weekend was a big weekend for Arsenal. I think with Newcastle, the way they beat Man City, with Liverpool being beaten the way they've been, they would have looked at yesterday's results and thought, we've got to go out and make a statement today. And I think they've done that, particularly with the injuries that they had, some of the injuries that they had, Gabriel being out. So not only was it 3 points, I think it was a big statement. I think they were excellent today, Arsenal. I thought from start to finish, they battered Tottenham. And it was a really impressive performance and some big performances from Arsenal players.
I think the fact that they brought in Hincapié as well at centre-half, and the big question before the game, can Arsenal score a goal only from a set piece? And would they miss Gabriel? And they didn't miss him. They didn't miss him one bit. So they've now got 4 top centre-halves with Mascara coming on as well, with Saliba and Gabriel. Then they got the fullbacks as well. People don't even mention Ben White anymore because Timber is so exceptional. You got Lewis Skelly as well. It's ridiculous with Calafiori. The squad that Arsenal have assembled is too strong. And if they can build with that confidence and get that momentum, because there's going to be swings and roundabouts. Man City are going to win a couple. Arsenal will lose a couple. But if they just can stay on the right track, they're well on the way.
Can someone try and explain what the hell's happened to Liverpool?
I can't.
It's baffling, isn't it? Just shows you as well how important confidence is in football. Last season, it's all going well. They hardly lose a game. They were, playing some great football. Then suddenly, a few new players come in. They don't quite gel. They're trying to find their feet, and then the results go against you, and all of a sudden you're scrambling to find a result. And the head plays an important part in football. I mean, you look at their squad. And it's like, and you just go, why is this happening? But it's like momentum shift or just the belief. Football's crazy at times.
I mean, they had a couple of chances in the first 25 minutes or so. Liverpool didn't take them, but you could basically see, you could see them sort of shrink when Forest got that first goal. It was like, come on then, what you got? And they offered nothing. And you'd be slightly concerned at Virgil's comments after the game when he was talking about his players and the lack of reaction or the lack of fight or whatever. Because we always say, is that we see the best players very easy when things are going well for you. You're full of confidence, you're winning games and you're battering teams every single week. All right, but you see your big proper characters when things are not going well for you, when you're losing games and those players are still prepared to get on the ball and not be afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah, it's difficult to put your finger on it because if that result...
No one predicted it, did they, Micah?
No, if the result would have been at Forest, you could say, they got them on the counter-attack and all that. But at Anfield, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So if you look at the game tactically, okay, Forest did really well. They did deserve credit. Obviously, the story is Liverpool losing. Of course it is. Champions losing. But Forest were outstanding. They played Liverpool. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. They countered when they did. They took the chances. But when you talk about environments, Jota has to, the death of Jota has to have played a part in what's going on this season. It must have, because it doesn't feel right. And half of them players are probably still grieving. Imagine having a teammate. You have a teammate who you win, you become like family members, don't they? And sadly, I've lost my uncle just last week as well. No problem at all. And then when there's a death, you start sort of overthinking, and then could I have done this? Could I have done that better? And your relationships in the dressing room, it has to have effect. I don't care what anyone says. And this is not making an excuse for Liverpool, but it's a human side. Football's not just about technical ability and physical output. It's about the mental side as well. And what they're going through at the moment, it is showing on the pitch. It definitely has to have an effect.
Yeah, I would echo all of those things that you've said, absolutely. And also go back to Forest, how brilliant Nottingham Forest were. They were absolutely outstanding. Sean Dyche and his team were great. It's
funny, isn't it, that Sean Dyche is doing well and Nuno Espirito Santo is doing pretty well, I think, at West Ham. You can see that they've improved. And I think Sean Dyche going into Forest was a more of a fit that probably should have done after Nuno, because they're kind of similar, not the same. It's different in their coaching styles, but there are certain similarities where the contrast between Nuno and then going in with Ange Postecoglou and the difference in the style of play, they've now gone a little bit more closer to what they were doing last season, and it's working for them. And Sean Dyche is savvy. He's been around the block. He's proven Premier League manager.
Yeah, he's got them set up in a similar way to what brought them the success. Absolutely, they did all of those things yesterday. They chucked themselves in front of the ball. They were defending incredibly well, and they were sitting deep and hitting them on the break. And that was no fluke yesterday. They were the better team with Forest.
Totally agree.
Did you enjoy Newcastle's victory?
Just a little bit, guys. Just a little bit.
Did you enjoy our former Leicester City hero for you? Harvey Barnes getting a couple of goals. Bit lucky with a couple of decisions.
No,
possibly.
Yes.
No. How can you get lucky with?
Do you think? Okay, I think the Chiao one was a definite handball. You can't do that in front of you.
He didn't do that. He had it in his side.
His side's
Get
there.
off with you. What's up with you?
It went like that, Alan. Okay.
No, he didn't. He had it in his side like
The
that.
Phil
He had it in
Foden
his
one.
tucked in like
The
that.
Phil Foden one.
I thought the Foden one was quite a dangerous challenge, though. I thought that was a penalty, personally. I mean, anywhere else on the pitch, that's a foul. Once you move the ball and then you get clobbered, that's a foul.
If he gives a penalty, you come back and say, okay, yeah, fine, I get it, I understand it. But I think because he's got a shot, he's shot away first, and I think that's why the referee didn't give it. So I wouldn't say they got away with a couple of decisions.
Chiao won though, Alan. Do you not think that's a natural position to block the ball from hitting you in the face?
Well, the handball law's a joke anyway. Nothing like that should ever be handball, but it is now. It's with it slightly out or slightly this side or slightly the other. I mean, they've got to go back to like, is it deliberate or not? Now, 9 times out of 10, handball's not deliberate. Your arms are in a position. But you can work out when it's an obvious penalty or not.
It was 0-0 at half time. How on earth it was 0-0? It was like it should have been 4-4 because Haaland missed 2 big chances. Phil Foden missed 2 big chances. Harvey Barnes missed 2 big chances. He missed one sitter, missed one after 30 seconds. Voltemada missed 2 big chances as well. I know Pep wasn't happy with 1 or 2 decisions after the game, but I would be more worried about his team defensively rather than anything if I was Pep, because the number of chances that Newcastle created. But from a Newcastle point of view, I thought they were absolutely outstanding. The 2 fullbacks, Livramento and Hall, coming in, give them a much better balance, much more energy about their game. Midfield was much better, back to being tough and hard to play against. Tonali, I thought, was outstanding. Malik Chow, I thought, was brilliant. And obviously Harvey Barnes getting his goal. So it was back to being in Newcastle what we've become used to.
I like Jacob Murphy.
Yeah.
I really do. Just because he runs and yes, he's not going to be the star of the show, even though he got a load of assists last season.
Yeah.
But just his energy, and it keeps you high all of the time. Him and Barnes kept going and going. And with Man City's fullbacks, they love to go, don't they? But they got pegged back the other way. Say, no, you defend us. I just thought it was a really good game of football.
You know what else he does really well, Micah? For what is refreshing for a centre forward? He actually puts the ball in the box early.
Correct.
He's not bothered about going past someone. If someone's going to stand off him, he'll whip the ball in. And for a forward, I mean, it's heaven.
Yeah.
It's all you want.
Yeah.
It's all you ask them to do.
You can time your run. You can do everything else early and everything that you want to do as a forward, because he puts the ball in early, and it's refreshing to see.
I don't know if you agree with me with this, Al. I thought Man City were brilliant in the first half. I thought Doku was getting in really good positions. Like, he's playing sort of an inside left now, and then when he gets the ball, he's going out to the left. Like, almost a number 10 at times. He's playing really good balls to Haaland, whether it to be to Foden. Foden had some really good touches in that first half. I just thought that Newcastle's midfield overran them in the second half, where Man City still had Shirky on the pitch for a little while. I thought that was maybe a game for Reinders, because once Newcastle started getting their confidence, although they had chances in the first half, they could build on that momentum. They kept going and going and going. I think they just had a bit more energy in the middle of the park, I would think.
Yeah.
Arsenal 6 points clear now, of course. And then from 2nd to 11th, Chelsea 2nd, Liverpool 11th. There's just 5 points between the lot. It's really, really tight. Who is the most likely challenger, if any to Arsenal, do you think it might be actually Chelsea, the club world champions?
I would still say City, because we've seen City after Christmas before do it. They're used to it. They can do it. We know that. And I know it's different that defensively they're certainly not as good as they have been. But because they've been there and they know what to do and expect and everything else, then I would still say it would be Man City.
I would say Man City as well. But I think Chelsea could beat anyone on their day. I think they can put in really good performance, as we saw in the Club World Cup. But I don't think they have enough at the moment to go all the way, but they're improving.
Would you completely rule Liverpool out of the title race?
I think so. I mean, what are the six they've lost in the league?
Yeah, I still think they'll finish top 4, but I don't think they can win the league now. Quick line on Palace, because they're up there in
Palace are what? Palace are 4th, aren't they?
4th, yeah.
5th now. I think they're 5th.
Oh, the 5th, are they?
Villa went above them into 4th, and Villa, don't forget, had a really poor start to the season, and they're right up there now. So it's an interesting league table at the moment. I thought this season it might be really tight. I've got a feeling Arsenal might win it comfortably.
It would be most unlike Arsenal to win it comfortably. But I think I think I'll definitely go for Arsenal. But if anyone's going to challenge them, I would say it would be City. Liverpool, I think, are done. I think their title race is done. I don't think they can come back from that. We've really worried, and you'd be really concerned with what you're seeing at the minute with Liverpool. And I don't think it's a short-term fix, because if it was just one area of the pitch, you'd say okay then, but it's all over.
Obviously, if you're listening to this on the Monday night game is Manchester United-Everton. If Manchester United win, they're in the top 4. Hey?
Just shows you how up and down the season's been, hasn't it?
Yeah, really is. Why do you think that is?
I think that there's more teams at the same level this season. I think if you look at the start that Man United had, to think they can go top 4.
The gap's definitely closed, hasn't it? Even use Palace and maybe Bournemouth as examples. The gap is definitely closed from clubs like that. Brighton's another one. Obviously, Newcastle are there. Villa are there.
You better say Sunderland, Alan. You'll be in the doghouse.
Sunderland are there at the minute. I'm not sure they'll stay there, but yeah.
I tend to agree. Right, let's call it a day there. Just before we go, I think it's only fair to give Michael McIntyre a little plug for his new show that I've just taken part in. It was a lot of fun. It's called In the Box. Unlike the show that I'll be revealing, I think, in the spring, which is called The Box. Seems to be a theme of my life. Very strange. It's called In the Box. You'll find it on YouTube, and I think it's out today. So check it out. It's a giggle. But for now, goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me. Have a great week, everyone.